Hey everybody, welcome to the roundtable. We're at DNC 2024, day 2, and we have some on-the-ground discussion topics to share with you guys surrounding the event as well as in general about the election. So here with us today we have Kathy Zhang from The Perspective and Fang Wei from Fang Wei's Time. So welcome guys, and let's talk about the event, DNC, right? It's the most important event for the Democratic Party. We have not heard much about, the key policies from this side yet since they switched the candidate.
Right.
But what's been your impression so far of this?
Yeah, just a couple of months ago, I went to the RNC, Republican National Conference convention. Now it's the DNC. Okay, what I see is that it's just like these two different people living in their own just parallel world. Okay, there's two islands, pack of people. There's no bridge between them. Very few people go to this place and then go to that place and try to understand them. And they let alone, people from this side cross the bridge, go over there, understand how the other people think. And so that they can effectively communicate. There's no such effort. Okay, and this is the first observation I have. Well, the second is, I think people do not quite think, because a lot of policy that I heard about, well, it's indeed is a very energizing convention. Lots of young people here, they love the atmosphere, they're excited. But I just feel that a lot of discussion, a lot of point of view, they do not go deep. They do not try to figure out indeed what's in it. For example, there's a very major slogan or message saying that we are going forward. We're not going back. We'll not go back. We'll go forward. Yeah. So my question is this: going forward to where? And we're not going back. What is that back? Does anybody ask this question? I think that's a very worthy question to ask. And if we dig into it, they will reveal a lot of truth that we, young people in this country, needs to learn about.
Well, see, from my perspective, the younger people, we tend to be less informed on. I think history is a really important aspect, but also I think just in general, we don't necessarily care enough about the reasons behind these, because for a lot of these issues, they're very distant from us. So that's why I think the Democratic platform has so many younger supporters, because for these age groups, it's very easy for us to be convinced that, if it sounds good, it must mean it's good. So I don't know. It seems naive to some, but I think that's a reality for many young kids today, is that if they feel like this is something that hits the heart, it doesn't really matter if in their experience, it works or not, but if it hits my heart, I feel good, then that's what we're going for.
Yeah, that's indeed. What I heard yesterday, all the great, how to say, offer sounds great. Affordable health, right? Yeah. Affordable housing, affordable college education. And everybody love it, understandable, okay? Even giving this to other people, poor people. I think young people, they do have a kindness in their heart. It's very easy for them to echo to that. But if you go one step further, asking who's paying for it?
Right.
Where does the money come from? That affordable, there's no free lunch in this world. Somebody's affording that, and somebody's taking that. And who's doing that? So that kind of thinking is indeed what is lacking, I think, in our society, especially among the young people that grow up in this country. But the thing is that what they are thinking about is nothing new. The humankind has existed for thousands of years. Everything has been tried.
Right. And
we got to draw into history, draw from history what has been tried, what do we have learned to understand the policy of today, whether this makes sense or not.
Right, Kathy, so you interviewed people here. Do you find that, to me, from my short observations here, I noticed that the crowd in general is much younger. And it seems like the participants are more, they're not... occupation-wise or even experience-wise, they're much on the younger side. Are you getting different sense of from what you saw at the RNC?
Yeah, that's generally speaking, yes. The crowd here at DNC are much younger than in RNC. RNC is more all over the spectrum, all different kind of ages. Yeah, I did met a 17-year-old, who's a guest of RNC delegate, and very well spoken, with a very kind of a conservative mindset. Yeah, and so over at RNC, I think it's really kind of a wide spectrum. And here at DNC, it tends to be more younger people. That's also my observation. And I think right now, since it's only the second day of the DNC, we have not heard so much about the policies.
Right.
Yeah, I think the first day they are really setting up the stage to kind of for the Democratic Party to thank Joe Biden and set up the stage for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, let's talk about that because it was obviously a unique situation for this party to go through that. Their nominee quits, Kamala Harris comes in. Some may argue that, the process is less than transparent, but either way, now they're putting their forces behind Kamala. Is that something that, have you noticed in the event that people are, worried about? Or is this, everybody's come to terms saying that this is, we're going to support Kamala Harris and this is who they think is the one that's going to.
Yeah, I think at this stage, it seems like many people, they just kind of try to rally behind the Kamala Harris and Walt's team. I think one thing is because a lot of people, a lot of Democrats were concerned about Biden. Now, since Biden stepped down, Kamala Harris is younger, in many different sense, they feel they have more chance. And I think that's one thing for the DNC. Many of them are behind Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I think I have to give them credit for doing that. Okay, yesterday's evening is pretty much just see Biden off, but they really they gave him enough recognition.
Right.
Okay, rounds of non-stopping applause to not only him but to his wife, and even including Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Well, she was coming out almost like 3 minutes non-stop applause. Right. They really line up well behind Kamala Harris, saying that the party is indeed looks like pretty well united.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah, and because we mentioned about the protests, actually the protests outside of the DNC, I think could be a concern for DNC because referring back to 1968, when the protest really cost the Democratic ticket, right? So at this time, yesterday when I was at the protest, the superintendent of the police, it's like basically the police chief of Chicago, they are pretty intense, and even the reporters saying, are you nervous, are you afraid, they said, no, we're not afraid, we are ready, and they really try to, they use a lot of police force to monitor, to try to prevent anything could happen at the protest. So if the protest is not handled well,
Yeah, is that sending the wrong message then? Because you're supposed to be the party that kind of is inclusive to all those ideas, but yet you have the police on guard on that. Because I did watch some interviews from the event, the protest yesterday. It seems like they're very mad, even at their own nominees, saying that they're not.
So, you're right. So actually, at the protest, most of things I heard is they don't support Trump and they don't support the Democrat Party.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, don't support Kamala Harris. And a lot of people say they're gonna support vote for the like a Joe Stein, the third party,
the libertarian.
Yeah. So I think this is one fact. The other thing is they are really trying to pressure the Democratic Party, make so that they can move in.
I see.
Yeah, like make their roads into the Democratic Party. So like you mentioned before, like Democratic Party, they would most of people would not really agree with the socialism and communism. I agree with that. However, I think the socialists and communists, they are trying really hard to give use the pressure, use other routes to kind of go into the Democratic Party. And one thing happened, it was that they actually the DNC gave them those Palestinian supporters a place, right?
I see.
Yeah, a room. I think that could be a win for those protesters. But they're gonna have another protest at the last day of the convention, 5 p.m., which right before Kamala Harris and Tim Walz formally nominated. So I think again they are just keeping their pressure on to the DNC to see how much they can achieve. So I think that's something really a test for the Democratic Party, for America as well, I think.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments what you think about. If you're watching the DNC, let us know what your thoughts are on the events, the speakers, and your own experience listening to the party and their stances. So, and if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to the Roundtable and like our video as well. Thanks for watching.